so freaking back, bro. Hello, everybody. What is up? It's Mythos Monday again. At long last, it's actually on a Monday. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Now, here's the rub. Today's chapter is technically 2 days. Which means I expect it to run kinda long. So I might end up having to split this into 2 sessions, which is why today's title has a part 1 in parentheses. Because day 11 is technically day 11 and day 12, technically. Even though it's one continuous chapter that runs through. So I might try to, depending on how long it is, we might be able to get through it in like a regular 3-hour session, I'm not sure. But depending on how long it is, I'll try and cut it off in the middle. Kind of like when the day changes over, if that makes sense. And you'll know when that happens, because that's the H scene that's not in the remastered version. I imagine we'll kind of know when it's supposed to happen. But yeah, that's kind of the plan going forward. If we get like an hour and a half in and we're already like halfway through, then we'll just keep chugging along. But if it gets to the point where I'm not sure if we're going to be able to finish it in like 3 hours, I'll cut it off and we'll finish up next time. So that's what we're looking at. As far as for the rest of the week, tomorrow we got more Build Your Oshi. Specifically, what I want to get done tomorrow is I want to try and take on the Fire Giant and also go to the Consecrated Snowfield and try to get to the DLC. Try to beat Fire Giant and or Moog tomorrow. That's going to be kind of the game plan, as it were. I imagine that's going to take a little bit of time. Moog might actually be easier than he was with the Cinder build. I'm not sure. It'll kind of because we're already higher level. I think we're closer to level 100 than we were with the Cinder build. I think we were in like the high 60s when we beat Moog. But again, that's for tomorrow. We'll have to see how that plays out. First try, I wouldn't count on a first try. Maybe a first try with the Fire Giant, because I know what I'm doing with the Fire Giant. Moog is relatively unpredictable. Oh, and we don't have we're gonna have to go and get the blood tier, the bloody tear from Castlevania. You know the one. Just remember, he gets a damage buff when something bleeds, including himself. Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, well, that's okay. We'll just not get hit. That has worked out every single time before. Yeah. Anyway, Wednesday, Thursday I'm off. I'm gonna be trying to work on some other projects Wednesday and Thursday. It'll be... God, I'm a sleepy guy. Life is too busy for me to get good sleep and also work on stuff. But yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm gonna be trying and working on offline stuff, including like clips and sound alerts and alternative content. If you know already, you know, and if you don't already know, then there'll be more of it soon. And then on Friday, we're going to be playing Left 4 Dead 2 in a collab with Cabby and some other friends, whom I don't believe I've met yet. But yeah, that'll be fun. And then Monster Hunter releases, and we're going to be playing Monster Hunter on Saturday, and if I'm really into it, maybe even on Sunday. Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of the look of the week going forward. I was hoping to have made more progress with the Morty build by now because of Monster Hunter coming out, and I know having... I dislike having two long-running games going at the same time because I end up getting things kind of jumbled. But it's fine. I've played Elden Ring enough times, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. And at this point, it's really mostly just fighting a lot of the bosses and then maybe, like, getting some armor and stuff. Because we've been using the Royal Remains set for, like, the whole run so far, and there are definitely better armor builds that are more aesthetically attuned to Callie's aesthetic. But they're in the DLC, so we're gonna worry about that when we get there. Anyway, got a lot going on. Should be a full and busy week. Hopefully, I'll be able to maintain relatively high energy levels throughout, in order to cope with that and get all of the things done that I want to get done, because the beginning of this month and hell, the beginning of this year has just been rough for me, and I want to get over it. I want to just get into doing shit that I want to do. Oh, I feel like nobody's gone fishing for forever. Damn. 3 exclamation points. Holy. Joel the Sturgeon. He's got a name. Why does he have a name? Hello? Why is he named Joel? Is that the Oh god, Gilgamesh, please. Gilgamesh, why? What have you done? Oh no. Stop, it's too much. Singing fish. Classic. We got 24,000 gold. What the fuck? I'm sure you could do many more. What the hell? So many fishes. Squidward's hopes and dreams. Let's go! Yay! I love that one. I have 50 more. Dear God. Sea urchin. So yeah, I'm excited for more Elden Ring, because I feel like we're making really good progress on the Morty build now. If I hadn't gotten sick at the beginning of this month, I feel like we might be close to finishing it by now. Oh, this will certainly negatively affect the trout population. Almost definitely. Yeah, if I hadn't gotten sick at the beginning of this month, I feel like we might be closer to the end of the Morty build, or maybe even finished with it by now, and then we could lead right into Monster Hunter, and then onward and upward for the remaining plans for March. I got at least one plan for March involving the first Berserker Kazan. Now that I finally played the demo and am pretty much entirely sold on it. But yeah, we got stuff going on, and I really want to just keep this train rolling. I want to get better at doing streaming stuff, because I've been slacking on it lately, since the turn of the year. I haven't been keeping up with the goals that I wanted for various reasons. For some reason, multiple streamers all got sick at the same time. Yeah, it seems like everybody got sick at, the tail end of January. and it's just been fucking everybody over. Like, everybody, because the same thing happened to me. People I was watching were talking about getting sick and then taking time off, and then I got sick, and then after I got sick, other people were getting sick. I'm like, man, it's hitting everybody. It's terrible out here. What the hell just happened to me? My little leaflet just went flying. What the hell? Hello? Are you okay? Bro got yeeted. Never seen that before. Yeah, Twitch fever. Yeah. It's the... Hello? Feels like just beating the shit out of me. He's kicking my ass. I probably deserve it. Alright. I guess without any further ado, let's hop back into the story, shall we? Let me see. When last we left off, we beat Ryder, but at what cost? The cost was that Saber's gonna fucking die. That was the cost. Get flashbanged. Murex shellfish. Neat. No. Oh, there we go. February 10th. Chapter 11. Dragon Slaying. Is that like king slaying? That's the wrong button. Is that like king slaying? Oh good, the patch worked. I was worried about that because I downloaded the patch back with the 1.0 version of the game that was broken, and I wasn't sure if they fucked it up, but it's literally a script change, because in the official English translation, they call her Altria because they're stupid and don't have any, like, concept of what they're reading. Artoria is, like, a real name. Altria is some stupid bullshit, and I'm not calling her that. Anyway, we are Artoria coded, and it's finally time to learn about Saber's backstory. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a long chapter. We're almost definitely going to be cutting this in half. That being the case, I might try and squeeze in another episode before next week, but we'll see. Probably not going to be able to, but I'll do my best. Artoria. That's the name she was given when she celebrated her coming of age. It was wartime. It began with the collapse of an empire. An empire that had been meant to be eternal was slowly waiting to die amid invasions from all sides. In preparation for the many wars, the empire deprived an island nation of its military. That is how it began. Having lost the Empire's protection, her nation had no choice but to become independent, and over time, it broke up into smaller nations. The invasions came again and again. Internal conflicts between clans spiraled out of control. Then came a long period of war, which would later come to be known as the Dark Ages. It is during this difficult time that she was born, heir to the throne. A long, tumultuous period of war. The king believed in a mage's prophecy and so eagerly awaited the birth of his worthy successor. But the child born to him was not the child he desired. His child wasn't male. Fated king or not, the child could not assume the throne unless they were a boy. So the girl was entrusted to the king's retainer and was raised as a knight. The king was saddened, but the mage delighted. One's sex has nothing to do with one's worthiness to become king. More than that, the mage was convinced that the girl's absence from the castle until the day of the prophecy was proof that she was the true king. So she grew up under the care of a simple and wise old knight, as his adopted child and successor. The old knight did not believe in the mage's prophecy. He simply raised her to be a knight, and hoped for her to continue growing, because he felt something from her that reminded him very much of his own lord. But even without the knight's encouragement or intervention, the girl trained every day to become stronger than anyone else. If an ailing country headed toward its own demise could only be saved by a king, the girl had sworn to wield her sword for that reason, and that reason alone, without anyone ever needing to tell her to do so. And then the prophesied day arrived. Knights and lords from around the nation gathered in hopes of being chosen to be king. If this was to be a contest to determine the best possible king, all assumed the selection would be made in a mounted joust. Instead, all that waited at the site of the selection was a naked blade thrust into a stone. On the hilt of the sword, a glittering golden inscription read, "Whosoever pulleth this sword from this stone is the rightful king of England." Many knights took their turn, trying to draw the sword from the stone. But none were able to draw the sword from the stone, so the knights decided to compete in a joust, as they had originally expected on arriving. The girl was not yet a knight, and so could not participate in the joust. She approached the stone of selection, which sat largely abandoned, its appeal having long since faded, and reached for the sword's hilt. She did not hesitate. I love this piece. This is gorgeous. I love the angle. I love the washed out colors. This is great. Wait just a second there. Maybe you should think before you take hold of that. She turned around, and before her stood the most feared mage in the nation. He gave his warning. Once she takes hold of that sword, she will cease to be human. She responded only with a nod. Yes, it's the Dick Wizard. To be king is to no longer be human. She has been resolved to this from the moment she was born. To be king is to kill more than anyone, in protection of everyone. The young girl thought of this every night, and lay in bed shivering at the implications until morning. Not a day went by that she was not afraid. But in that moment she pledged that her days of fear were at an end. She drew the sword effortlessly from the stone, and bright light engulfed the whole of the site of selection. And in that instant she ceased to be human. A king's sex does not matter. So long as they carry out the function of a king, none would care about a king's appearance, or even bother to pay attention to such a thing. And even if someone noticed the king was a woman, it would not matter, so long as she was a good king. The sword's magical energy must have halted her growth. While many knights found it eerie and feared her, most saw their lord's immortality as a divine gift. And so, the legendary, celebrated age of the king began. The new king in battle was seen as something of a god of war. The king always led from the front. No enemies could stand in her way. Artoria, the god of battle. Hailed as a dragon incarnate, she knew no defeat. What's up, Clay? Welcome in. We're finally getting Saber's backstory. In 10 years, she fought 12 battles and never once lost. In those days, her chief duty as king was on the battlefield. Not once did she turn back. Not once was she disgraced. She was raised to kingship and fulfilled her obligations without hesitation. Maybe that's why I had a vision of her. Look at that. This is another gorgeous piece. The rendering is immaculate. Look at the depth of color. I love art, dude. I wish I could do it. I wish I could make art. Fuck. All I can do is write. I wish I could do shit like this. Yeah, I can, but like it would take me forever to get to this level. I know writing is art, but like I wish I could do this sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, man, this is great though. I love what I am capable of creating, but this is fucking awesome. Hey, are you okay? I'm okay. Are you okay? Maybe that's why I had a vision of her. Her soul must still be on the battlefield. It's not yet dawn. She stands under the indigo sky and lets the wind whip at her as she stares off into the distance. The sky is high and clouds slide by overhead. Out in the clear air, sword in hand, she gazes at the great army she's about to confront. That image of her won't leave me. It's burned into my mind now. She and her sword are one. The sword from the stone which chose the king. The brilliance of the sword that determined her fate is also her brilliance. But I tilt my head and wonder at this dream. That sword isn't the one she holds. It's similar, but different. The sword she holds now isn't the one she used last night. I was actually gonna address that. Technically, in the myth, there are like two swords. There's the Sword of Selection that was pulled from the stone, and then Excalibur, which was given by the Lady of the Lake. It's on your channel, you know, sitting there watching it right. Nice, cool. Yeah, we've got a few Cinder fans in chat here. We got a few Pyro Pups hanging around. Thanks for stopping in. I was lurking in her stream a little earlier before I got started out here. We don't have the PP high emote, but I appreciate the sentiment. But if that's the case, what happened to that incredible sword? Yes, the Sword in the Stone is not Excalibur. I think it's Caliburn, if I'm not mistaken. It does have a confusingly similar name, but they are technically two different swords. And I think if you really look into the Arthurian mythos, that he uses a lot more than just those two swords, even. Like he's got a whole treasure trove of weapons and other things attributed to him that he uses for various purposes. Gotta go have good streams. Thanks for stopping in, Dream. It's nice to see you. But yeah, there's tons of King Arthur is arguably the most popular character in, like, the world, which is a weird statement to make, but I think you guys kind of know what I mean. Like, it's like you can talk about King Arthur, and there's like there's probably approaching a 99% chance that anyone you bring them up with is going to know, oh yeah, King Arthur. Like they know the legend of the Sword and the Stone or whatever. They know something about King Arthur. Okay, thank you. I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I'm a Cinder fan myself. Please do not promote other creators' stuff in my stream. That's very rude. I'm gonna let you off the hook this one time, but please refrain from doing that. Most well known as a toss-up between Herc and Arthur. Yeah. You can absolutely. There's definitely an argument to be made for other heroes like Hercules or Alexander the Great or even Gilgamesh, I suppose. Although I feel like Gilgamesh might be a bit of a stretch, but he's definitely up there. There's certainly arguments to be made for a lot of them, but for Nasu to have chosen King Arthur as like the flagship for the franchise, as it were, oh yeah, definitely, I could totally see that. When I wake from my dream, I find myself in my own room. Also, because he studied in American high school. Oh, really? I didn't know that, actually. It's interesting. When I wake from my dream, I find myself in my own room. It's bright outside. I must have come back to my room last night, unable to make a decision, then fallen asleep while I was watching over Saber. That was a dream? It was a strange dream. What I saw, I had no way of knowing any of that, and that wasn't the Saber I know. Is it even possible for me to dream of such a thing? Epic of Gilgamesh is part of many senior curriculum. I don't think I ever read it in school. It was talked about in school, but we never did the whole story, I don't think. Or maybe we did. I don't remember. I do remember looking it up on my own and finding that the story was incomplete, that we were missing tablets or parts of them were broken, and I was very upset. I love a finished story. Yeah, there's very... It fascinates me how different legends are brought up around the world, especially being an American. I can take a moment to talk about this as an aside. Being an American, a lot of our mythology isn't native to us, because I'm descended from an immigrant family from, I don't know, hundreds of years ago at least. We've been native to the United States for generations, but we don't have the same mythology as Native Americans do. I trace, like, the mythologies that I know about are traced through my lineage, through my genetic heritage, back to Europe. So it fascinates me how in European countries, presumably, they learn about the mythologies and the histories and legends of their local heroes, their actual history, and they can go to those places. Whereas here in America, we're even if we do learn about some of those Native American stories, and it kind of depends on where you are and what school you go to, whether or not you do end up learning about some of those stories, it still feels like an outsider looking in. It's kind of strange, because here in America, where I was born, I don't share that mythology because that's of a certain people. But then looking back to Europe, where I trace my lineage, I don't share that mythology either, because I've been so generationally and geographically distanced from it. So it's kind of existing in two worlds but belonging to none. It's a very fascinating and strangely objective, savvy viewpoint to be, because you can kind of look at all of these stories while not being necessarily immersed in any of them. It's fascinating. It's a very strange position to be in. The world is a very big place. It's only gotten bigger with the advent of the internet, because now we can learn about all of these stories from across and around the world. It's all at our fingertips. It's crazy. Yeah, it's just it fills me with enough passion to speak profoundly about it, when in reality it feels very mundane. Anyway, I think that's enough of a tangent. That sword was definitely different from the one Saber had. I rack my brain. Saber's identity had been unclear, and honestly, I still can't get my head around who she really is. Saber is Saber. I can't change the way I act around her, and I don't think Saber would want that in any case. But she looked incredible. She looked really cool with that sword last night, but she looked good with the sword in my dreams, too. It'd be fair to say I was in awe. The sword last night and the sword from my dream seemed to have left one hell of an impression on me. I guess I've got a thing for swords. Fucking your words, not mine. I was about to say it, but hey, at least you're aware. Do like a woman with a sword, though. It's it's always an improvement. I thought Lancer's spear was beautiful when I saw it too, but my passion for swords is on a whole other level. Me, but backwards. My passion for spears is on a whole other level. It would appear I have a thing for swords. You said that already. Anyway. Well, it's not really anything new. I draw in a deep breath and reach up, finding my forehead dripping with sweat. It sure is hot here. I wipe the sweat from my forehead. It's winter, but my body feels flushed. I don't know why, but it feels like my blood is getting hotter, and it's unsettling. Is that... Could imagine, is that an Artemis Mythos fucking emote of him shooting the bow? That's fucking great. I love that. I fucking love that. I love that emote. I love that. I fucking love that. I mean, I hate archers, but I love the emote. That's awesome. That emote alone makes me want to go sub. Wait a minute. I love spears, but I prefer bonk sticks. Respectable. I wonder why. Ever since I saw Saber's sword, my whole body's been hot for some reason. My left hand, the one with my command spells, feels like it's holding a hand warmer. Bro's really got a thing for swords. That's quite the emote combo. It's the same sensation I felt when Tosaka made me swallow a jewel. Like there's something stirring in me, or making me want to run. I take a deep breath, trying to calm myself. For bows, we can appreciate a good spear. I can appreciate a well-designed bow. It's just that realistic bows are, I mean, they just kind of exist. To make it fancy, it would make it impractical. And not that I have any necessarily disrespect for bows, because they, you know, ranged weaponry outperforms everything. Being able to defeat your enemy without needing to see them is I don't know, fucking read The Art of War or something, I don't know. Saber's probably still asleep. She still hasn't woken up. But it looks like she's stabilizing. Her breathing is even, and that pained look she had last night has smoothed over. Saber is sleeping peacefully. It's a morning like any other. Maybe if I let her sleep, Saber will recover. That way I won't have to make her kill anyone. Then she could stay with me, just like she has been. How could I be so selfish? I slam my fist into the wall. My own weakness nauseates me. It's my fault Saber turned out this way. What the hell am I gonna do? I stand up without another sound. I don't know when Saber's going to wake up, but I have to make a decision before she does. Tosaka's not up yet. The house is completely dead, and the corridor feels deserted. No, it only feels like that because I'm so down. I can't decide what to do, so the whole world feels hazy, and I'm just wandering in that grayness. Huh. I hear something cutting through the air. There it is again. It's coming from the yard, but that's... I know that sound. Well, I don't feel like making breakfast, so I'll go take a walk and check it out. It's colder than usual. It must be really cold for me to feel it, feverish as I am. Looks like it might even snow. It's coming from the shed. The sound of something slicing through the air reaches me at regular intervals. As I cross the yard, my breath mists the air. I find him in front of the shed. Given how unsurprised I am to find him, I guess I figured he'd be here. He must have been shooting his arrows. The moment Archer sees me, he lowers his bow in displeasure. That's dangerous. Don't shoot arrows in my house. What were you going to do if one hit something? Nothing in particular. I wasn't using arrows to begin with. Can't hit anything if you're not shooting anything. He doesn't have to tell me that. So the sound was just his bow itself. For some reason, Archer was just plucking his bowstring, not firing arrows. That's really bad for your bow. Dry firing a bow is, like, structurally very bad for it. Like, there's nowhere for the force to go, so it just fucking rebounds. It's really not good for it. I don't know much about archery, but I do know that. That is not good for it. Watch the same guy on YouTube? Maybe. I might have. Maybe I might have seen a couple of clips, but I did. This is gonna sound like blasphemy based on everything that I've touted on this channel. Yeah, the pole dancing guy. Yeah, okay. I've seen a couple of his clips. Yeah, I've seen more than a couple of his clips actually. I did. When I was younger, I did own a bow, and I used to do. I didn't really do archery. It was more like a hobby thing. Like we'd set up like targets in the backyard, and my dad taught me how to shoot. Because my uncle still is mostly was, because he's kind of too old for it now. He's got more important shit to do. A hunter. So like he knows how to shoot bows and he knows like guns and stuff like that. So when I was young, me and my brothers, he bought a couple of us bows. So those of us who were old enough to use them, and so I learned a little bit as a kid. It was like just it was practically a toy. Obviously, it was a real bow with real like sharp arrows that could hurt you. Probably couldn't kill you, but could definitely hurt you. So it wasn't a toy, but it was, it was like for kids. It was like a learning set. So I do have some basic knowledge that I retained from those days, like don't dry fire your bow, and never draw if there's somebody downrange, because like if you run out of strength or you make a mistake and it hits somebody, that's a huge problem. So, some of the basics I might know. I was never good at stringing it though. Like I always needed help putting the string on and taking it back off. I could never do that. I was never very good at it. I was never strong enough to do it as a kid, or I never really wrapped my head around how to flex the bow to get it on easy. I would always try and brute force it, and it would never work. Younger brothers into bows knowing some. Yeah. Anyway, we're off on a lot of tangents today. That's okay. First time my brother showed me a bow, and I was like, why is it not curved? Yeah, right? Because you'd expect it to be curved, but it's only curved when the string is on, because that's when it's got the tension. It's only curved when you're drawing it, because that's mechanically how it functions. Like it's supposed to be straight, and then it flexes, and that's where all the energy comes from. Like, you don't really think about it unless you're actually using it. That's a good-looking bow. Didn't want to say as much earlier, but I guess you're a bona fide archer. Hi, Ada. Thank you for the head pats. You know what? Just for that. And just for that. Get loved on. I'm well. I'm doing very well. If you're listening while I eat dinner, I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy the story. And any more tangents that we go on, I hope you enjoy those too. We've gone on like 3 separate tangents, and we've been live for like an hour. Not even. Gotta lock in. I gotta focus up. No wonder. I'm not an archer like you understand it, so even if you ask, I can't teach you anything about archery. Your archery is about shooting arrows for yourself. Mine are used to strike at enemies. You think of archers with a concern for things like civility. His lips curl snidely. I still can't stand this guy. I never thought to ask you about archery in the first place. I was just wondering what you were doing. As you can see, I'm just keeping my skills sharp. The injuries I sustained from Saber have healed. I can't stay on guard duty forever. I see. So his wounds have healed. That means Tosaka will get back into the fight. I turn on my heel. If Tosaka and Archer are going to rejoin the battle, I need to make a decision too. I need to go somewhere I can think alone. Have you ever heard the word Zanshin before? Huh? It literally means lingering heart, and it's a concept dealing with the time you have after making your move. I feel it's the only thing my archery and your Kyudo discipline have in common. What? I didn't ask for a lecture on the 8 stages of shooting. Just listen. They say the body remains in the same place after you shoot a bow. That's what Zanshin is. Yes, there are 8 movements in Kyudo called the Saho Hasetsu, which are the 8 principles of shooting. The final step, Zanshin, is what follows after releasing your arrow. Yeah? What about it? I'm talking about preparedness. Zanshin is not about making sure your arrow strikes the target. An arrow has already struck its target by the time it's released. The shooter simply moves according to the image they envision. So they don't need to check whether it's hit or not. If when you shoot you think your arrow won't hit, it won't. If you believe it will, it will. That's absurd. No matter how much you might think a shot will hit, some shots won't. If all they had to do is think it will hit, everyone would hit every shot every time. Is this just a really roundabout way of saying you miss all the shots you don't take? Because it sounds like it. Kinda, right? It kinda sounds like it. Do you really think so? You, at least, hit the target every time. What? He catches me off guard there. I mean, he's right, but... Well, I don't care about that. The point I'm trying to make is this. Zanshin isn't about determining whether or not your arrow hits. Everyone knows what happens to the arrow they fire. Zanshin is the mindset of accepting the consequences of the shot. I know that. You're telling me I need to follow through to the very end. Exactly. I heard what happened to Saber. She must have known something like this would happen from the start. Fighting without any chance of renewing her magical energy could only lead to her disappearing. That was already determined. Then... all that's left is to accept the result. He's telling me that no matter what I decide, no matter what it does to Saber, all I can do is see it through. Very warrior way to think. I think it's a very healthy way to think. I think it's a very forward-thinking way to think. You can't change the past. Whether the arrow hit or not doesn't matter anymore because it's already gone. There's no real sense in harboring regrets. You just have to keep going. There's nothing you can do to change what's already been done. Of course, that doesn't stop you from firing another arrow, but that's a That's still not changing the past. I turn my back to Archer. This time, I'm going to be the one to leave Archer hanging. Oh, and one more thing. I'll go ahead and tell you, since you don't seem to have figured it out. His voice comes from behind me. Saber must have known she would disappear if she'd used her noble phantasm. She probably never intended to use her noble phantasm in the first place. This time I hear nothing of his usual sarcasm. But she did use her noble phantasm. There can be only one reason for that. Saber chose protecting you over keeping herself from disappearing. Never forget that. For once, his voice is completely sincere. He's only telling the truth here. I don't think he's ever really lied. So far. Only by omission. The park is empty, as usual. Maybe because it's chillier than usual. There's hardly anyone out. It looks like I'm the only one walking around right now. I slump down onto a bench. Well, I came here to be alone. Now that I'm here, I should think of what to do next. I can't put my decision off any longer. If I want to defeat the other masters and end this Holy Grail war, I need Saber. That's not what this is about, though. I just don't want to lose Saber. But that means I'd have to have Saber attack people, like Ryder did. I can't let her do that. Giving Saber that order is as good as telling her to die. Besides, I think she'd just refuse outright. But when my head slumps down, I see my left hand. I have 2 command spells left. If I use one, I can force Saber to obey me, even if she refuses. I bite my lip and shake the thought off. It's ridiculous. Time slips by me as I sit on the bench. I have no idea how long I remain sitting there. But just as my fingers start to tremble from the cold, I thought I'd never see you again, but you're here. I look up, hearing a voice calling to me. It really is you. Hello, Shiro. You look down. Did something happen? I really just don't have a very good little girl voice. I'm too large of a man for a good little girl voice. I can't pull it off. It feels wrong to even attempt to. Iria, did you come all the way here by yourself again? It's not safe. You never know where masters are lurking. I'm about to warn her that other masters might be lurking nearby, waiting to attack. I catch myself, realizing how stupid that would be. Ilia's a master. I shouldn't be worried about her. We're enemies. Sorry, I don't really have the time to talk right now. I know we bumped into each other, but I can't talk today. It's going to be really cold, so you should head home. I don't get up from the bench as I dismiss Ilia. There are plenty of things I'd like to talk to her about, but I can't think of anything other than Saber right now. Well, it's not that it's harsh on my voice or anything, it's just, I just don't like doing it. I can drop a register, and I feel like I'm a little more comfortable somewhere down here, or I can be a little more comfortable somewhere down here, which admittedly isn't as low as a lot of other people can get. but going up higher and especially trying to talk it just feels weird trying to go up into like a girl voice. I just can't do it. It's weird. Takes more practice, I guess. Not that I plan on voice acting little girls very often, but you know, extenuating circumstances. What's going on? Elia doesn't say anything. She's looking at me as if I'm a stranger.
Ilia.
Sorry, I don't mean to be harsh. I've just got a lot on my mind right now. I know. Saber's about to disappear, right? And you're wondering what to do. Just out of nowhere, Ilia's voice has gotten so cold and detached. What a stupid thing to worry about. No wonder you let Rider's Master get away. You just need to kill losers like that. I forgot that she is already disillusioned. Yeah, I forgot about that. I move my feet. Something tells me this isn't the time to be sitting, so I shift my weight forward to get up. But my body doesn't move, as if I'm entranced by Ilia. Maybe she met Rider's Master. True, yes, Rider's Master does deserve to die. Anyway, we've got ads coming up in a second here, so we're going to take a short break. If anybody wants to get up and stretch or grab a drink, now's the time. Yeah, I think anybody who met Shinji would definitely think, we should kill this guy. I'm gonna raid my little snack stash that I have acquired here. I got some Little Debbie's oatmeal cream pies. Partly because of the collab yesterday. It just reminded me that they existed, and I wanted some. It put me in a mood for some cream pies. Wait a minute. That's alright, that's not what I meant, but it is also what I meant. I'm always in the mood for cream pies. The snack, right? Sure. I'm about to ask what. Oh, you don't know what? Oh, well, it's like two. It's two little, I guess patties made out of like oatmeal, and kind of caked together into like a little circle, and then in between them is like sweet cream. I don't know exactly what like kind of because it's not like whipped cream. It's not. It's a little denser than that, but it's some kind of sweet cream in between. Yeah, kind of like an Oreo. Yeah, but it's the oatmeal part is like soft rather than a crisp baked cookie. So they're kind of chewy. They're delicious. I loved them since I was a kid. And the Little Debbie's, the Cosmic Brownies. Cosmic Brownies are like my fucking weakness, dude. Oh god, they're so good. And they taste manufactured, but god damn if I don't eat that shit up, bro. I think we have something like that here. Interesting. Yeah, it could be. I think the closest thing I would compare it to is either like a whoopie pie or like maybe like a macaron, sort of, but like not really. But like it's similar in structure, but not really in anything else. But yeah, I've eaten them since I was a kid. Oatmeal cream pies, cosmic brownies, and honey buns. Love those little snacks. All carbs and sugar. Some images they looked at. Bro looked up cream pie and said, "Wait a minute, that's not right. That doesn't look delicious at all." Unless. Anyway, we're gonna find a different conversation topic while Ilya is still here on the screen. Do not, the little girl. Yeah, yes, oatmeal cream pies. They are delicious. Yeah.
Ilya,
Ilya, how do you know about that? There's not much to explain. I was there last night, at the building. I could only watch from inside, though. And don't spray me. I said do not, the little girl. She's... Oh, wait, we did discover that she is technically 18, right? Because, like, she was alive during Fate Zero. She just definitely does not look 18, but I think technically she is. Still, though. She acts like a little girl, she looks like a little girl, even if she's technically not a little girl. I ain't about it. No. I try to make my hands and feet move, but nothing happens. No, it feels like the more I try to move, the stiffer they get. It's those eyes. Whenever I see Ilya's red eyes, my senses go dull. Oh, you're already chained down. You really weren't on your guard at all. I thought it'd be easier to capture you if you were all alone, but you're so cute getting caught so easily. I don't like her talking like that. Ilya, you... It's no use, brother. You can't move now. Soon you won't be able to talk, but there's nothing to worry about. I actually didn't come here to talk today either. Ilya's eyes blaze with murderous intent. This is Ilya as I saw her the other night. Berserker's master. Did you plan to kill me right here? I grit my teeth and gather all my strength. But my fingers won't so much as budge. It's like Ilya's stare has frozen every nerve in my body. Yep. There's no reason for you to remain a master, right? If Saber disappears, you'll be all alone. I can't have you go on being a master. I can kill you easily if you have no other means to fight. Ilya raises her hand. Her slender white fingers reach for my chest. Orb. 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 Orb, Ilya. Ilya orb. Why did we fish islands? What the hell is going on? I'm gonna gonna fucking lose it. I'm glad I found the others before... I'm glad I found you before the others killed you. So good night, brother. Saber's going to disappear anyway, so the sooner the better, right? Ilya, no killing your brother. My vision fades. Like an old school television set, in fact. My limbs have gone completely numb, and now I can't see either. How long have I been stuck in this darkness? Before I can figure out whether I'm alive or dead, I lose consciousness. Well, it's a good thing that Archer's back in play, because now at least Tosaka can come and save us. My body is burning. Even if my consciousness has fallen into darkness, the burning in my body tells me I'm still alive. Yes, that must mean I'm still alive. Even so, it may only be temporary. Ilya even said it. I can kill you easily if you have no other means to fight. She's absolutely right. Without Saber, I can't fight a proper battle. The Holy Grail War is a battle between servants. And there's no way I can go up against servants. That's been proved more than enough by now. Each time I got absolutely thrashed. Like Saber said, all I can do against servants is try to survive for as long as possible. I couldn't even do that. I was cut to pieces, and even thrown out of a third-story window. It's only this weird, inexplicable thing going on with my body that's kept me alive. It's so frustrating. It makes me so angry. In the face of an unbeatable opponent, I couldn't stop the catastrophe in front of me on my own. Even though I decided to fight. I said I was going to fight as a master, and vowed not to hurt anyone, but I couldn't even keep those promises. I'm pissed off. The champions of justice I strived to emulate when I was young always had to win, or there would be no point. My body is burning. Every inch of me trembles with the need to win. But I have neither the means to win, or even a way to fight. What good am I? I can't even fight alongside Saber without bringing her down. Another mistake. You're not fit for fighting, Shiro Emiya. Your battle is supposed to be a mental one. A fight against your own self. Suddenly, I remember Archer saying that. You haven't got a prayer of winning once the battle starts. None of your skills are worth a damn against servants. I know that. I've certainly been reminded more than enough. Then at least imagine it. If you can't possibly beat the opponent in reality, then beat them in your imagination. If you can't win yourself, imagine something that can win. You don't have to remind me. I can only win in my own head. But what can I imagine that would ever help me win? I can't imagine beating a servant. I don't have such a wild imagination as to fool myself. Any fantasy I come up with will be full of loose threads that'll come unraveled. My third-rate imagination hasn't got a prayer against these incredible servants. That's why. Who do I win against? And how do I win? I'm still searching for that answer. Am I really searching for it? That golden sword. It's meant only for her. I don't want it for myself. It's so beautiful. Just once, I'd like to hold it in my hands if I can. I guess this is just a bad habit I've picked up as an untrained mage. Since all I can do is look within myself, I tend to dream about stuff I shouldn't. I should at least be allowed to dream. He's going to get a sword. Don't get ahead of us now. First, I imagine the thing's basic structure, then reproduce it. I guess there's not much point in strengthening here. If strengthening is the act of applying something to an existing object, there's not much point in doing that to something that doesn't even exist. That means I need to work harder if I'm going to remember that sword. This is well before the basics. This is from before Kiritsugu taught me strengthening, a magecraft process that I thought up on my own and packed with trivial steps. Let's see. How did I do it? How did I give it form? When I come to, I have no idea where I am. Where am I? This place isn't just unfamiliar. There's a luxurious canopy bed, and the plush carpet is ankle deep. There's even a stone fireplace, and it's clearly not just a decoration. What I initially take for wallpaper, I realize on inspection, is actually patterns engraved on the wall. I've gotten used to fancy decorations like the ones in Shinji's mansion, but this is something else entirely. It's a little embarrassing to say this out loud, but this place is like a castle from a fairy tale. My vision blurs. My body feels strangely heavy. Maybe I'm having circulation problems or something. I feel like I might fall back asleep if I relax even a little. He's entered a mind palace. Summon your persona! Shiro! Remove the mask! Or pull the trigger on the definitely not a gun evoker. Definitely not a gun. Definitely not a gun. What the hell happened? I tried to get my clouded mind working. Oh, right. Ilia paralyzed me, and I just passed out. So Ilia's captured me. There's nobody in the room. My body feels heavy, but not so bad that I can't even lift a finger like before. If I really work at it, I might be able to lift an arm. I'm tied up! My drowsy mind suddenly jolts to full alertness. I realize I'm in danger, and so study my surroundings carefully. In a chair. My hands are bound behind my back. I'm handcuffed. No, my wrists are just tied with rope. It's not as bad as I imagined, but I still can't move. My whole body is weirdly tingly, and I can't get up with my arms tied behind me. Maids? Are we going to see the maids? I don't know, maybe. Maid be. Anyway. I wonder how long I've been here. Is there a... No clock in here. There's nothing in here to tell me what time it is. No window. There's a window behind me. I try to turn and get a look, but the curtains are closed, so I can't see outside. All I can say for sure is that the sun's set. I ran into Ilia in the morning, so it's been at least half a day. I don't have time for this. I have no idea where I am, but I need to get back to Saber as fast as I can. Saber's in a weakened state. I can't be even more of a burden to her by letting something like this happen. I try to make my arms move. If I'm going to escape, I have to do something about these ropes around my wrists. The door opens. I go still just as Ilia enters the room. Oh, you finally woke up. Morning, brother. How are you feeling? Ilia's not acting at all like she had earlier. The coldness in her eyes is gone, and she's back to acting like the cheerful girl she'd been at the park the other day. What's wrong? You don't look so good. You still can't move? That's weird. You should at least be able to talk by now. Ilia peers into my face, looking puzzled. She seems genuinely concerned for me. I'm fine. I can talk, and my mind's clear enough to understand that I've been captured. Oh, are you complaining? Did you know prisoners are usually supposed to go into the basement cell? I'm not complaining. I'm not. I promise I wasn't complaining. Don't throw me into the actual dungeon. But I felt bad at the thought of doing that to you, so I brought you to my room. I don't know if that's good or bad, but at least I understand what's going on a little better. I'm getting a clearer picture of what happened. I've been captured, and this is where you live. I speak flatly, trying to kill my emotions. Until I understand completely what's happening here, I just need to listen. A totally normal thing to have at home, a dungeon. That's right. Remember I told you I live in a castle in the forest? This is a castle in the middle of a big forest. There's nothing else around. It takes a few hours by car just to get to your city. There's no chance of a rescue out here, and nobody will come bother us either. That's good to know. That's really good to know. I see. Okay, but why did you do this? If you were going to kill me, you could have done it at the park. Why would I? I don't intend to kill you. You're mine. I'll kill the other masters, but you're special. She's gonna make us like one of her little teddy bears around the room. I locked you up here so that nobody could bother us. I don't like where this is going. I find myself recoiling. Ilia pushes her face closer to mine, ignoring my agitation. That's a tall chair. Look at the back of that chair. It goes up over Shiro's head. Ilia, what are you... I know it's inappropriate, but the way Ilia sits on my lap has my heart racing. Do not. She may not be heavy, but the way she's sitting on my lap has me thinking kind of graphic thoughts. Stop! Sure, I swear to God. That's the wrong button. Shiro, I swear to God, you fucking stop. You stop that right now. Knock that off. Do not. She's a little girl. Do not do that. Yep, I knew it. You're special, Shiro. Hey, want to be my servant? If you say you'll be my servant, I won't kill you. If you just nod, I'll spare you. God, what do we do in this situation? Ilia's words are so pure and heartfelt. I know that if I nod even once, it'll be a choice I can't unmake, and I will absolutely come to regret it. On the other hand, if I refuse, that purity will turn into pure wickedness. With Ilia leaning so close, my mind grinds to a shrieking halt. She's not saying this because she likes me. This is more like an interrogation, a matter of whether I want to live or die. She was looking for a lolicon. She cast Detect Thoughts. Ain't no way. Oh god, oh jeez, oh, fuck. This is a no-brainer. You don't have Saber anymore. You don't have a way of fighting. That means there's no reason for you to remain a master. No, Saber hasn't disappeared yet, and I'm not going to let it happen. Oh, really? But it would be so easy to kill you in your state. Just give in and stay here. If you stay by my side forever, I'll protect you forever. Ilia presses close against me. I'm not sure what'll happen if I refuse. But I still can't agree. I can't. Step away, Ilia. No matter what you say, Ilia presses her index finger to my lips. She giggles in amusement and watches me in my bewilderment. You really don't understand. Listen, you're like a bird in a cage. It's my decision whether to keep you alive or kill you. You shouldn't say anything that might make me mad. I've waited 10 years for this. Killing you quickly would just be boring. What? Ilia talks like she's asking for a toy. The sheer cold-heartedness in her voice sends a shiver down my spine. This is your last chance, brother. I'm only asking you this one more time. Ilia's eyes shine with hope. Shiro, be mine. Ilia's tone is bewitching, and brooks no refusal. No! I don't even need to think about it. And shit, even I only have so much patience. She's not a little girl, she just looks like one. Yeah, she's a demon. Every single one of them is sure Saber's going to disappear. Saber won't disappear. I'm going to fight with her until the end. I can't let this destroy the oath we made. Ilia, I can't do what you're asking me to. I have Saber, and as long as Saber's around, I'm going to keep on fighting as a master. A soft gasp. For a second, her red eyes snapped open, as if she'd just gone into rigor mortis. Oh, so you're going to betray me too, Shiro. Ilia backs away. She looks down, but maintains her composure. She waited for 10 years. I bet she knew his adoptive father who was a mage. Now, hold on. Now, wait a minute. Clay's out here cracking the code. I don't know how much is going to be revealed about Ilia in this route or in the Heaven's Feel route. I know that there's obviously there's more revealed in the visual novel than there is in the anime adaptations, but I don't know how much. So I don't want to say anything before we get to it, just in case it comes up later. Fine. If you're not going to listen to me, I'm not going to listen to you either. I've been letting you do whatever you want, but that ends now. Ilia's voice is dripping with hostility now. There's something terrible lurking behind that malice. Wait right here. I'll just be a minute. Wait, what are you going to do, Ilia? Oh, nothing. I'm just going to go kill Saber and Rin. If I kill the two of them, that'd make you feel kind of guilty, right? Don't be ridiculous. Saber and Tosaka have nothing to do with this. I'm only saying I can't be with you for my own reasons. Oh, really? Well, I'm still killing them. Once that's over, it'll be your turn. If you won't be mine, you're useless to me. I hear Ilya's footsteps moving off. Ilya's serious. She really means to go kill Saber and Tosaka. Stop, Ilya! Saber and Tosaka have nothing to do with this. I'm the one you captured, so if you're going to hate someone, just hate me. You don't need to kill them. I have a reason. I can't leave any other masters alive. Isn't that how Holy Grail Wars work? You dummy. Don't talk about killing people like it's so easy. You shouldn't ever do that. You're a kid. You shouldn't even be thinking about this kind of thing. Ilya stares at me in disbelief. Too late. I've already killed a master, brother. Wait. Who? She sounds so joyful as she says it. Yesterday, though. I thought you were going to take care of him, so I didn't expect to do it. Did she kill Shiji? What? In that instant, I, surprisingly, understand exactly what she's talking about. Ilya was in the building last night. Which means she must have seen the master running for his life as the perfect prey. We throw a party because Shinji's fucking dead. Ain't no way. Ilya, you didn't. Sorry, I only did it because you didn't. I don't actually like taking other people's stuff. That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up that she thinks of it that way. She doesn't sound guilty at all. It probably meant nothing to her. She's rising to be my favorite person. Do we find out who Ryder was? I know who Ryder was. I don't know if it gives us all of her information. It doesn't give us her true name. So that's not revealed in this route. But we did see her noble phantasm, the bridal of chivalry, and her summon, Bellerophon. I don't know. Yeah, there's Bellerophon. Medusa. She's Medusa. That's why she can summon a Pegasus, because in ancient Greek myth, when Medusa was slain, when she was decapitated, two beings emerged from her blood, and that were her quote-unquote children that popped out of her neck, and one of them was the first Pegasus, and that's why she has the ability to summon a Pegasus. She's deeply associated with that phantasmal species. And that's why she wears the blindfold. You will see more about that in the Heaven's Feel route. It makes me realize something. I've probably known this since the moment we first met. She really doesn't know the difference between good and evil. That innocent laugh is just as much Ilya as the merciless laugh I hear now. It's not that Ilya has a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other. Ilya, however angelic she may look, is a devil. Yeah, Ryder's. I like Ryder. Well, I'm off. When I get back, it'll be your turn, so do your best to escape. Then again, a little bird in captivity will remain in captivity, because it can't escape. Knowing you, you won't be able to escape this little cage. Sadistic. Ilya leaves. She's absolutely right, of course. She knows nothing of threats or tactics, so she just says what's true. But I can't stay here forever. I need to escape and meet up with Saber before Ilya can attack her. I shake myself, trying to loosen the ropes around my wrists. Maybe she really does think I can't escape. Maybe she really does think I can escape. There's no one else here. If I'm not being watched, even I can manage to get out of some ropes, but... Damn, I still can't. What up, Valari? Welcome in. Thanks for checking in. My body just won't listen to me. My limbs move, but they're heavy as lead, and just trying to move at all is exhausting. I didn't join the ads this time. Let's go! Ilya knew I couldn't escape because of this. I can't move like this. Even if I get out of the rope, I won't be able to escape the room if I can hardly move. Clay, thanks for checking it. Did anybody claim first? I think first is still available. Not that it really means anything. Oh no, Gilgamesh got first. Gilgamesh got first. I forgot about it with all the fishes he redeemed. It doesn't really do anything. It's just a fun little. This is a fun little competition. Fun little thing. I don't know. It's just cute. My whole body feels heavy, not because I'm tired. Yeah, I haven't been able to move since I looked into Ilya's eyes. They must be mystic eyes. I hear truly superior mages can perform some sort of magecraft just by making eye contact with their target. Restraint is a common effect of mystic eyes, so that's probably what's going on here. Eyes are how we take in visual information, and so are susceptible to suggestion and spells. And that's why most mages employ some sort of protection on their eyes to block out other mages' magecraft. Tosuko would be so mad if she found out all it took to paralyze me was a suggestion, not even a spell. Well, at least that was from mystic eyes learned through magecraft. Some monsters are born with mystic eyes, and don't even need to lock eyes with their target. I hear all they need to do is look to use whatever ability they have, but it's also extremely rare for people to have powers like that. It's kind of like the Sharingan. I think Valari is my surname. Okay, then we call you Messian. I just like I like Valari. I just like the way it sounds. Mages all wearing protective sunglasses. Actually, now that you mention it, that might be a bit of a hint back to Toko, Aoko Aozaki's older sister. She had glasses that nullified the effects of her mystic eyes, and that's where Aoko got the pair that she gave to Shiki. That would erase the lines. It would nullify the effect of his mystic eyes so that he could like see normally. So that's very subtle callback. Very subtle callback. And luckily, Ilya's mystic eyes aren't unique or special. They're just a means of sending magical energy at a target. And that means there has to be a way to dispel the effect. Ilya's magical energy is invading my nerves, preventing me from moving. If I can get rid of that magical energy, that should fix my paralysis. It's simple. If there's a buildup of mud, then all I have to do is flush it out to clean it out. I close my eyes and focus inward, on my own body. I may not have the skill to detect and remove foreign magical energy that's invaded my body. But I don't need anything like that, so long as I'm dealing with magical energy that hasn't become a curse and taken root in my body. If Ilya's magical energy is lingering, stagnant in my body, I just need a strong flow of magical energy through my body to flush it out. Say my body one more fucking time. Sorry. It's crude, but it's all I can do. I apologize to my body for what I'm about to put it through. Okay, I didn't actually... That was sarcasm. Stop saying my body. Ugh. All I have to do is focus on my daily routine. The ritual where I force a foreign nerve down my spine. No, not anymore. I don't need to build it from scratch anymore. Now all I have to do is flip the switch in my head. Instead of creating a magic circuit in my body, I just have to switch my nerves into a magic circuit. He said it again. I murmur the spell to focus myself. You don't use spells to change the world around you. They're to be used on yourself, to empower you to change the world. For mages, they're a way to initiate a kind of self-transformation. Spells are the first, most basic magecraft used to create a mystic just for you, a command that will only work on you. Basic structure. Analysis. My blood flow accelerates. Power builds in my blood. My body is becoming a machine for circulating magical energy. Probably thanks to the gem Tosaka made me swallow. Normally this would take me at least an hour. Now I'm able to do it almost instantly. Interesting theory. I cast Fireball! Composition. Analysis. I don't even need to flip the switch at this rate. I can just let the magical energy circulate and let my hands go. Actually, I say flip the switch, but I still haven't found the switch to begin with. Heat rushes into me. I try to get control over my pounding heart, and my hands slip from the bucking reins. Blood spurts from my mouth. I must have opened a vein or torn something inside myself. I channeled enough magical energy to flush out the mud that had invaded me, so it's no wonder I'm throwing up blood. Luckily, I don't feel any pain. Maybe I'm not in pain because of that self-healing thing I have. It's an abnormality of my body that I still don't understand, but I'm delighted to have it at a time like this. The ability to heal any non-fatal wounds is my biggest and only strength right now. I do need to be careful not to rely on it too much, though. Since I still have no idea how it works, relying on it too much risks losing it all. So I can't rely on miracles I don't understand. Okay, now there's just the rope. I undo the rope. My wrists were bruised, but I wasn't bound tightly enough to cut off circulation. I don't think Ilya tied me up, but I wasn't bound very tightly. Besides, I doubt it was Ilya who carried me in here anyway. Who here other than Ilya might not be all that strong? It definitely wasn't Berserker. If he tied me up, he'd have snapped my hands right off. I rise to my feet as I try to crack a joke. Ouch. I can control my body, but I've pushed it too far. While I may not be injured, magical energy is raging through my body. Just moving around is likely to tear my insides up. It's probably the pain. Dizziness and nausea rack my entire body, and I have no feeling at the ends of my arms and legs. I'm not going to get home before Ilya gets back. Not like this. Why am I being such a coward? I don't have time for that kind of thinking. I slap my cheeks and start walking. What? As soon as I lean against the wall and start toward the door, I hear something on the other side of the wall. Footsteps. More than one set of footsteps. People are approaching my door and talking. They stop right in front of my door. Someone's on patrol? Damn it, at the worst possible moment. There's no time to hide. need to... Oh. I think we have to fight. Hide under the bed. What do you think, chat? Mental image. Oh, he did. He didn't specify which cheeks. I smack my ass and I focus. Alright, what do we think, chat? Do we fight back? Do we pretend we're still tied up? Or do we hide under the bed? I don't think much. Same. Pretend. That's what I would do. It works in movies. That's a good point. That's a good point. Alright, let's go. There's no time for me to hesitate. I can't possibly fight like this, so I need to be careful until I've recovered. There. I put my wrists together to make it look like I'm tied up. The door opens. Could it be Ilya? Or someone else from the castle? I just need to remain sitting here, looking like I'm bound up. Right up to the very last moment when the person comes into the room and... Are you alright, Shiro? Okay, even I wasn't expecting that. My eyes widen. For a moment, I genuinely think I'm just hallucinating out of sheer desperate hope. I see you are tied up. I will untie you, so please say... Oh, the ropes are loose. I bring my hands out front. I do not understand. Were you not held captive here? Yeah, no maid, Sag. Well, I kind of got free, and then I heard someone coming as I was trying to get away, so I pretended to still be tied up. I see. You were trying to trick your enemy into lowering their guard to give yourself the best possible chance of escape. Saber looks impressed. I am not going to tell her that I hadn't managed to think any farther than that. By the way, you're Saber, right? You're not some illusion, you are the real Saber. I stand up and touch Saber. Oh, Shiro, please stop. If you touch me like that... Where did he touch her? Where did he... Shiro? Now is not the time. Yep, you're real. But how did you get here? Why? I should hardly need to tell you. Servants need not explain their need to protect their masters. It is my duty to come to your aid, knowing you have been captured. Well, but how did you know I got captured? Or actually, why are you here, Saber? This is Ilya's hideout. You shouldn't be coming anywhere near here right now. I should be the one asking you. What were you thinking? I've repeatedly told you never to go out alone, but you allowed Iliasville to capture you, easily at that, and bring you here. You have failed as a master. I insist you make an apology for this. I know I was careless, but seriously, why are you here? You could barely move, so what were you thinking, coming into Ilya's stronghold in this state? I could ask the same of you. Servants protect their masters. It does not matter where you were taken, even Iliasville's stronghold. Saber's blunt as ever. She's exactly as she's always been. This isn't the weak, slumbering Saber from last night. Shiro? Why have you clammed up? I knew it. You were injured in your captivity. No, that's not it. Don't worry about me. I'm just glad to see you doing better. I'm genuinely relieved. I'm surprised to see Saber here, but I'm much happier to see that she's herself. I know it's selfish for me to think this way, but I think this is how Saber should be. I'm sorry, Saber. I don't fully understand, but you came to rescue me, right? Yes. It is a servant's duty to rescue her master. Thanks. I'm really glad you came. What a relief. Everything sorted itself out. Now I just need to get out of here with Saber. Wait a minute. Is that Tosaka? Tosaka? Are you real? And are you really right here? You're doing better than I thought you would. Maybe I didn't need to come. That's what I said, Rina. I told you to just leave Shiroemiya be. All he does is cause trouble for everyone around him, then somehow survive himself. This would have been a perfect opportunity to leave him to die on his own. Yeah, whole squad pulled up to the rescue mission. Damn. Turns out we're loved after all. Please, Archer, hold your tongue. I asked for your help, yes, but that does not give you the right to insult Shiro. You talk big now that your master's safe. First the master, then the servant. They don't have an ounce of gratitude for their own allies. Well, you're going to end up fighting eventually. It's probably best not to have too much in the way of fond feelings. He must have hit a nerve, as Saber grows silent. This guy. He's not just unfriendly to me, he treats Saber the same way. Enough. I hope you haven't forgotten the situation we're all in right now, Archer. We don't have time for bickering. We need to get out of here before Iliasville comes back. Wait a minute. You came here knowing this is where Ilia lives? And actually, Ilia left saying she was going to kill Tosaka and Saber. That means Ilia and Tosaka passed each other. It's a relief. I think Ilia's heading to my place right now. If you guys hadn't come here, you would have had to fight her there. Yeah, looks that way. I did see Ilia and Berserker head outside. Though I must admit that if they hadn't left, we wouldn't have been able to sneak in here in the first place. I get it. Saber and Tosaka only managed to pull something so bold off because they saw Ilia leave. She's bold as ever, but this time that brazenness worked to her advantage. I'm impressed. We'll talk later. I braced myself, knowing this was the Einspring's hideout, but it would be much better if we could avoid confronting any of them at all. And Saber's in no state to go up against Berserker right now. Tosaka gestures for me and Saber to separate. Like an endgame list, like waiting for Thanos on Titan. Nah, we're getting the fuck out of here. Berserker, way too strong. We need to leave. If Saber was in better condition, maybe that would be an option. Tosaka, what do you mean Saber's in no state? She's got her color back and she's acting like herself. You should really know better than to be so blindly optimistic. Saber hasn't recovered at all. Can't you see that she's barely able to stand? Rin, you promised to keep that to yourself. Sorry, I need to go back on my word. Keeping quiet won't help anyone. This isn't a secret we can keep forever anyway. That may be true, but she sounds so pained. And now I see nothing has changed about her situation. Saber, is Tosaka telling the truth? Yes, Rin is correct. At best, it's embarrassing to admit, but I am in no position to fight as Saber right now. At best, I can be your shield. I figured as much. She's too weak to even armor herself up, but she insisted she come with us. She probably figured she'd defend her master even if she couldn't really fight. What? She's so weak she can't even arm herself. She was willing to become my shield since she couldn't fight. What kind of absurd nonsense is she saying? I am sorry, Shiro. I know I am useless as a servant in my current state, but I can at least be your shield. I know this is not ideal for you, but it is the only... Oh, come on. Why does Saber never think about herself? Why is she only ever worried about everyone else? To hell with that. Of course I'm not happy. Tosaka, why did you bring Saber? Don't you realize Saber needs more help than me right now? What? I tried to stop her. Saber refused to listen, and we wouldn't have been able to pinpoint where you were without her in the first place. I know it was risky, but we needed Saber. Still... I want to tell her that she shouldn't have brought Saber, but I stopped myself. I have no business criticizing. This is only happening because I went and got captured. Tosaka and Saber were just doing what they thought was right. Enough squabbling. Just leave it alone for now, Rin. Masters are sensitive to any changes in their homes, so we don't have time to explain every detail just now. Yeah, she was just being irrational as usual. You're right. Iliasville must be surprised we're gone, so she's probably coming back real quick. Fine, let's talk later. Right now our priority is getting out of this castle. Are you okay with that, Shiro? Shiro, we should... Yeah, but... If Saber is as bad as she was last night, it will be hard for her to even walk right now. I don't want to push Saber any harder than I have already. Honestly, you all underestimate me. Saber? Even low on magical energy, I can still fight better than Shiro. If anything, I am more concerned about Shiro disappearing. Got him. Rin may not have noticed, but your magical energy is disordered, is it not? Well, this is nothing. I can manage. I'm totally fine, really. Then we are in the same state, you and I. I may be slightly uncomfortable, but it is not unbearable. This may all be difficult to accept, given how quickly it has happened, but let us follow Rin for now. We can discuss this further once we have returned home. Saber encourages me to go. I give up. She looks so serious, so determined that I can't worry anymore. You're right. There are a ton of things I want to talk about, but they can wait until we all get home safely. I want to ask about Saber's condition, and I want to thank her for coming to rescue me. But now isn't the time to ask her about the dream I had. Okay, let's go, Saber. I nod and get moving as best I can. Every step is a supreme effort, but this isn't the time for whining. Even weakened as she is, Saber came all the way here. Whoa. Is this a hallway? This corridor wouldn't be out of place in a museum. Ilia's castle must be massive. Hey, no time to gawk. Even if we make it out of the castle, the forest surrounding it is huge. If we don't worry, it'll be morning before we're out. Forest? So are we really in the mountains? Are you talking about the forest that's a couple hours from Miyama by car? Pretty sure Ilia brought that up already, but yes. Yep. We're in the Einsburg's secret castle. Once we make it out, it'll take a few hours to get through the forest. It's nighttime right now, so we should be out of the forest before the sun rises. Tosaga heads through the hallway, not hesitating for a moment. She's probably heading toward whatever door they snuck in through. I figured it was night, but how long have I been here? I thought it was about half a day, but maybe it's actually been a few days. Iliasville captured you in the morning, so it's been about half a day. Though the date has changed, so you have spent a day in captivity, I suppose. I see. Sorry. No, please do not apologize. Iliasville held you captive for a considerable amount of time, but you are still safe. That must be proof that you did not submit mentally, even though your body was captive. Well, that may be true, but... Yes, Iliasville may look like a young girl, but she is still an Einsburg mage. Had you submitted to her, you would likely no longer be yourself. Alright, we got ads coming up in a few seconds here, so we're going to take another short break. If you gotta run to the bathroom, grab a snack, grab a drink, stand up and stretch, now's the time. And this is a very tense situation, but ads be adding. And I believe that we are going to have to split this this chapter into 2 streams. Because just kind of looking at the flowchart here, we've still got like a little bit more than half left. Proposition was like a magical contract. Yeah, it was described as more as a suggestion, not magecraft. So it was almost like hypnosis. Yeah. Yeah, I think she would she would kind of hypnotize him into being her servant, and like servant as she sees the word servant. So she would become not like Berserker necessarily, but like in the same kind of role as Berserker, the same kind of situation where he's basically entirely subservient to her. Not like her maids, because I think her maids are just like normal. Mostly. Obviously they're aware of magic and shit. I don't know if we get to see the maids much in this VN at all, but they do make appearances in other media, so I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna go until we get out, and then there should be a point somewhere. There should be a point somewhere while we're in the woods that will kind of be our stopping point for tonight. just another minute of advertisements, and then we'll get back into the story here. I'm gonna blow my nose really quick. That's better. All right. That concludes our ad break. Hope you got your snacks and your blankets and your hot chocolate and all that. This is time to lock in. This is not as if I did not consider that possibility. I came to this castle fully prepared to find you dead. Which is why I was so glad to reunite with you, Shiro. My master has shown me that he is alright, so I cannot possibly show myself to be any worse off. I feel the same. I couldn't stand not knowing if Saber was safe or not. Hey, you two are serious about escaping, right? If you guys fall behind, I'm gonna leave you. Tosaka pops her head from the bend of the corridor to yell at us. This really isn't the time for us to chat. Let's hurry, Saber. I break into a run, urging Saber to do the same. Ugh. Everything hurts, but I grit my teeth and keep going. I drive my aching body on, following Tosaka. As I half limp, half run, Saber brings up the rear. She must be in a lot of pain, too. She's pretending not to be, but she's in no condition for this. Saber, if it's hard for you... I want to tell her I'll give her a helping hand, but I stop myself. Saying that will just make Saber dig in her heels and be more determined to not accept help. All I can do is keep an eye on her. Once Saber's too exhausted to complain, I'll just carry her. Honestly, Saber can be incorrigible sometimes. She has to be forced to even take a break. Pot, meat, kettle. And so, with Tosaka leading the way, we managed to get to the exit. Hey, you said this is an exit, but this is the entrance, Tosaka. Huh? What do you want about? You do that you can go in and out of entrances, right? Tosaka hurries down the stairs. Well, I'm in no position to complain. Saber and I head down the stairs and into the hall. It looks like a lobby. All we have to do now is head out through the big door at the other end of the hall, and we're out. Okay, we should be okay now that we've come this far. The problem now is how we get in through the forest. That's how we get through the forest. We might be able to use the cover of darkness to reach the main road. We really don't want to be here when Eliasfield comes back and finds you're gone. By the time she comes back, it'll be morning. Hey, what's with that look, Shiro? You've obviously got a problem. Nothing. Just kind of remembering how ballsy you are. The weirdest thoughts at the weirdest times. Well, I was more getting at her just walking into the enemy stronghold through the front door. Yeah, real. Well, whatever. Let's just head out. I remember the way back from here, so we won't get lost. We head towards the entrance. A long, narrow hall extends from the lobby, and at the end of it is an enormous door. What have you... The hall is, unbelievably, a about 30 meters long. I'm reminded that we're standing in an actual castle, but in the next moment... Oh, going home already? What a shame after you came all the way here. It's so over. Ilia shouldn't be here, but her giggling voice echoes up and down the hall. I whirl around. Everyone skids to a stop. The instant we see our enemy, we know we're dead as soon as we turn our backs to them. Ilia. Tosika's voice trembles. Back at the other end of the hall, we see her standing at the top of the stairs we just descended. She shouldn't be here. Ironically, it's a similar arrangement to our first meeting. Ilia standing above us, with Berserker behind her. Berserker's presence is overwhelming. Now that I can assess a servant's strength, I understand what a monster he really is. We can't do this. Even if Saber was at full strength, Berserker is just too powerful. It wouldn't even be a battle. That monster can't be beat. Not in a fight. If we are ever going to defeat Berserker, we have to figure out how to do it without fighting him. In other words, if we want to live, we need to stay far away from Berserker. Good evening. I'm so happy you came to see me, Irene. Ilia's voice is cheerful and bouncy. She's smiling that same smile I saw the night we met. Innocent, but merciless. She won't settle to squash us like bugs. And that's when I realized, we're not going to escape. Period. No matter what I do, I can't stop Ilia. Even if I try to draw Ilia's attention, that won't let Tosika and the others escape. You're right, Clay, a dance-off is our only option. Who's the best dancer in our group? It's gotta be Arjun. He's got a hidden talent. What's wrong? You're so boring when you just keep your mouth shut. I'm giving you some time, so I suggest writing a will while you still can. She giggles. But we don't have time for these kinds of games. We need to run to the entrance the second we can find an opening. Even if we know we'll never get an opening, all we can do is wait and hope. Is that a reference? Probably not, but like... Wait and hope is that's the Count of Monte Cristo. Then let me ask you one thing. Even in this situation, Tosika takes a step closer toward Ilia. Iliasville, I didn't sense your presence coming back. Were you hiding this entire time? Yes, I didn't go anywhere. I was watching all of you make fools out of yourselves from here. Oh, really? So that wasn't the real you heading outside? Right, I knew you were coming. I'm the lord of this place, so I should entertain my guests, right? Right then, the giant vanishes. I'm not sure if it jumped or just moved. The next thing I know, Berserker appears in the middle of the lobby, creating a whirlwind. This is the end for us. If we retreat towards the entrance, he'll slice us in half with that axe sword the moment we turn our backs to him. But we're dead if we stay here too. Our only other option is to challenge that walking mass of death, however futile it'll be. Are we done talking? Then let's begin, Berserker. The pale girl raises her hand as if performing a ritual and looks down on us. I swear I won't let anyone get away today. Her declaration is equal parts murderous intent and delight. He's berserking! Berserker's eyes light up. Before, Berserker had moved only as Ilya ordered, but now he's free to act, and he identifies us as enemies. Something's making a grinding sound. Tosca grits her teeth hard, as if in regret. Archer, can you hear me? Tosca speaks quietly without turning. We don't need long. Distract him for us. She just ordered her servant to his death. Archer doesn't answer. Ridiculous. Are you mad, Reem? Archer cannot possibly go up against Berserker alone. We're going to take the chance to escape. Archer is going to buy us some time. Tosca continues giving her orders, ignoring Saber. Her voice is cold, devoid of any emotion. Archer, who had been silent as if pondering something, his eyes fixed on Berserker, gives a slight nod. The sound planned. I will be able to escape once Reen and the others have. Independent action is an archer's strong suit. He takes a step forward, as if to protect Tosaka. Berserker doesn't move. Ilya's laughter echoes from above. For the first time in my life, I've realized that laughter and daughter only have one letter difference. The English language is weird. Oh, wow. This is a surprise. You think your nobody of a servant can stop my Heracles? I never thought you would do something so cute, Reen. Neither Tosaka nor Archer are in any position to object. They know better than anyone. Archer steps forward. He's empty-handed as usual. Tosaka looks at Archer's back. There's nothing she can say to it. She must know her orders are absurd. They amounted to telling Archer to die so we could escape. Archer, Tosaka is about to say something, but Reen, I just want to check something with you. Archer interrupts her, speaking so nonchalantly that it seems so out of place. Fine. What? Tosaka turns toward Archer, her eyes downcast. Archer's gaze stays locked on Berserker. Yeah, I don't mind buying you time. But you wouldn't mind if I just beat this thing, right? It sounds completely ridiculous. Archer, are you? No, there's no need to hold back. Give him hell, Archer. Understood. Guess I should try to live up to your expectations. Archer walks forward. Only 10 meters until he reaches Berserker. At this distance, it could close on Archer instantly. You're making a mockery of me. Fine. Get him, Berserker. Go tear that cocky man to pieces. Dog, thank you so much for the raid. What is going on, Raiders? Oh, and thank you for the resub. Hey. It's very cool, very cool. You guys have arrived at the perfect moment. What's up, Raiders? My name is Conla Redleaf, aka Conla the Kingslayer, the Wandering Wolfboy Warrior. Ah, woo! And today is Mythos Monday, and we are reading some Fate Stay Night. Kind of a lot of things have happened this episode. We learned a little bit about Saber's backstory, and right now, Archer has volunteered to take down the mighty Berserker. If you guys don't know anything about Fate Stay Night and would not like to be spoiled, definitely get out of here. I would not, hello. It's slash shoutout, Yoon. That, I did not know that that was a stream element, stream avatars feature. That's interesting. That's very interesting. You got it? There you go. Thank you again for the raid, Doc. If anybody's got a raid and run, I do not mind. Go take care of yourself. Go grab a bite to eat. Take a shower. Take a nap. Whatever you need. But if you're sticking around, you're in for a treat. It's about to get action-packed. Locking in. Ilya's voice is hysterical. Tosaka turns her back, not paying attention. Let's go. Once we are out, we've won. Tosaka grabs my hand, as well as Saber's, and runs. Saber doesn't object. She follows Tosaka. I start running toward the entrance, leaving Archer behind. But then, from behind me, Shiro Emiya calls out to me, his back still to me. Started earlier for the first time. I'm happy I was able to reach you. Aw, that's so sweet. That's awesome. I'm glad. It's always good to. It's always a good feeling to be able to raid somebody that you don't usually get to, depending on like start times and stuff. It's always cool. So I totally get that. Thanks for stopping in. And like I said, if you gotta run, don't sweat it, bro. Go take care of yourself. Thank you for entrusting me with your community. I hope you guys enjoy your time here. I let go of Tosaka's hand and turned around. In the lobby, now a good ways from me, I see Archer's back as he faces down Berserker. Listen, you're not a fighter. You only create. Berserker draws near. Archer is still empty-handed, and he doesn't take a single step while he watches his enemy closing in. Don't think about anything else. There's only one thing you can do, so master that one thing. Archer raises one hand. I have no idea when he got it, but he's holding a short sword now. Don't forget, what you need to do is always imagine yourself as the strongest. You don't need an enemy. The only opponent you need to fight is your own mind. I see him start to shift. Berserker's sword sends a rush of wind ahead of him. I turn and run, not staying to watch the clash. Tosaka and Saber are already at the entrance. I run, and I don't look back. The sight of the man in red made it clear that I needed to go. We hurry through the long hallway, and out through the gate. Hard as it is to believe, we were really in a castle. And an old one at that, hidden deep in a forest. The whole place is surrounded by trees as far as one can see. I don't see any buildings or even the sky in the distance. This way. We should be able to reach the main road in about 3 hours. We better run. 3 hours. Honestly, I'm not sure I'll last that long. I'm not tired, but the pain gets worse with every step. If I could at least rest, my fever might break. But we don't have time for that. Shiro, hurry! Tosuka sounds every bit as hurried. She'd given Archer his orders. As composed as she looks, I can see the regret weighing on her. I know. They're going to catch up. Saber, let's hurry. Yes, let us hurry, Shiro. Saber's eyes are downcast, but she breaks into a run with us. We follow Tosuka as she slips between the trees. Saber's breath rattles loudly in her chest as she runs beside me. It's too dark for me to see clearly, but I can tell she's struggling. I can't ignore it any longer. Saber loses her balance. I sweep in from the side and take hold of her before she hits the ground. That's it. You can't go on anymore, Saber. What are you saying, Shiro? I have been in situations like this many times. I can still run. What are you talking about? Experienced or not, you're still in pain now. Come on, you need to admit you're struggling. I pull her arm. Saber hardly weighs anything anyway. I gather her effortlessly into my arms. What are you doing, Shiro? No questions. Just rest for a while. I'll be the first to fall if I have to keep watching you struggle like that. No, insolence! Unhand me! Do you truly believe this is enough to make me collapse? Saber struggles in my arms, but her resistance is weak. Her thin arms have no real strength in them as she pushes at my chest. It pains me to see that's how weak she's gotten. I never imagined Saber could be too weak to push away from someone picking her up. What are you thinking, Shiro? I will not permit such behavior, even from my master. Saber struggles against me, her face beet red. I can't really blame her. This must be a terribly embarrassing position for a knight to be in. But now isn't the time to worry about that. Lies. You're too weak to even push me away. This is an order from your master. If you won't listen, I'll have to use a command spell. That is cruel. I will not tolerate such absurd nonsense as using a command spell for something like this. Then keep quiet. If we don't hurry, Tosuka's going to leave us behind. Saber must have given up, as she reluctantly falls silent. That's good enough for now. As long as she's not struggling, I can carry her and run at the same time. Describe a hearty meal, good soup and meat to get her strength back. If she was human, then yes. She needs a little something different. Spots burst across my vision. As I run, my blood pumps faster. I try to fight down the nausea burning at the back of my throat, gritting my teeth with every step. My breathing is erratic, but I do all that I can to hold the pain at bay. There's a reason for that. Shiro, please put me down. I will run on my own. The moment she sees me struggling, Saber looks up at me, concerned. I can't stop now. Don't underestimate me. Carrying you is nothing. Compared to a broken stove, a girl is light as a feather. What? Just shut your mouth. It's give and take, just not in your vocabulary. You've saved me plenty, so it wouldn't be fair for me to not do this. I need to pay you back for everything you've done, or else I can't have you protecting me tomorrow. No, that is not true. And you doing this is most certainly unfair. Fine by me. Just means I'll only have to do something like this once. Besides, I'm starting to get motivated now. Just feeling a little motivated. take a breath and pick up the pace. Tosuka knows very well that I have Saber in my arms, but she keeps taking us through narrower and narrower paths. Where is he grabbing? I don't think it's like that. I think he is carrying her like... I think he's like Princess carrying her, or maybe Fireman carrying her. A Fireman carry is probably the easiest to run with, but I don't see Shiro really doing that. I doubt that he's piggybacking her either, but that's also a possibility. He's getting motivated. Not that kind of motivation. That's not what he means. Now's not the time. But soon. It's a good thing Saber's so light, but following Tosuka is a trial all on its own. If you keep talking, it might bite your tongue, so I'd appreciate it if you stopped. Yes. And I will do as my master says. Saber relaxes in my arms. She was tense earlier, which made carrying her harder. Now it's a bit easier. The problem now is whether Saber and I will make it to our destination. I don't know how long we've been running. Maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Running doesn't take a lot out of me. I've been training hard, and Saber is so light. But right now, there's something wrong inside me. The more I've moved, the dizzier I get. I feel like I'm about to throw up. I would have understood it if I'd been bitten by a snake and the poison was doing a number on me since we're in a forest, but this is nothing. This pain won't bring me to my knees. It's just a heaviness in my chest and a need to throw something up. And it's nothing compared to the heat I'm feeling in my arms right now. Yeah, I can run for... I can jog for maybe an hour. I can, like, run for maybe a couple minutes. Yeah, I don't know how hard they're running, but I would not be able to keep up. Sabers closed her eyes as if she were sleeping. She's not resisting, she's relaxed. Her body is growing hotter by the moment. Her clothes are damp with sweat, even though it's the middle of winter, and she's tucked her head down to hide her labored breathing from me. God. At this rate, it'll be a repeat of that one night. The night Saber collapsed from exhaustion after using her noble phantasm against Ryder. Saber's condition hasn't changed since that night. Was she able to talk until now because she was just in the brief window before she disappeared? I run in an attempt to prevent that from coming true. I don't care what happens to my body. I move my feet as fast as I can, hoping that we can do something as long as we make it home. I very nearly trip and skid to a stop, leaning my back against a tree. I taste blood. So that's where the nausea's coming from. None got on Saber, since it was just a little bit, but the source of my nausea churns in my chest. Well, depending on how you look at it, this is actually better. Saber would be pretty upset about the waste of food if I threw up. Actually, knowing Saber, she might as well cut me in half for it. That's a really weird thing to say. Yeah, that's funny. A bit of levity lends me just a little more energy. Okay, break's over. No, you're done pushing yourself, Shiro. Saber. She wasn't asleep. Saber speaks up from where she lays in my arms. What? What do you mean I'm done? You should escape on your own, Shiro. You cannot continue to carry me in your state. The hell I can't. I just tripped. This is nothing. Says the boy so pale he looks like a corpse. Hey. Tosuka's come back for some reason. You want to put on a brave front, go ahead. Yeah, the forest is pretty dark, but you should still wipe the blood from your mouth. No wonder Saber's so worried. This is a relief. With the Reem present, I need not explain myself. Figures so. I just know what you're trying to say, Saber. We don't have much time, so go ahead and say what you want to say, so even a big dummy like him will get it. Saber nods. Yes. Green, please leave me here. You will not make it out without me. You will not make it out with me. And more importantly, I cannot last any longer. I can't really insist she's being ridiculous. Neither of them needs to remind me how much worse Saber's getting. Saber won't last long. I have the sense she won't make it until morning, the way things are going. I see. So what do you think, Shiro? Are you going to die with Saber out here? Of course not. I got no plans to die, or to let Saber disappear. If she's going to disappear, I'll use my command spells or whatever. Okay, that's good enough for me. Let's take care of both problems then. We'll save Saber, and the three of us will escape this forest. That'll be the plan. My brain feels like mushy tofu. Tosaka says the damnedest things, and always so casually. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I'd really like to do that, but we can't. Just follow me. I have no intention of letting Saber die either. I'll have you know. I'm not going to let this opportunity slip away. I'm going to make sure you fulfill your duty. Shiro said it was okay, so you don't mind, right, Saber? Tosaka looks towards Saber meaningfully. Saber doesn't answer. Instead, she averts her eyes awkwardly. Once we pass through the exceptionally tall trees, something unexpected comes into our view. A ruin. We should be able to hide out here for a while. Archer found this place on our way up here. He said we could use it as a hideout, just in case. It's like an open love triangle. Maybe a different T word. Crunchy. Trees choke the ruins. Only one of the rooms on the second floor remains more or less intact. Not trouble. No, not trouble, not thruple. Just three-way. The windows are miraculously undamaged, and the brilliant moonlight casts the room in its pale glow. Huh. It's pretty clean in here. Maybe someone was staying here recently. Nothing phases this girl. Tosaka steps over the rubble and pats the bed near the wall with both hands. Shiro, over here. We should lay Saber here. Getting carried can actually be pretty tiring, you know. Oh, yeah, I'll be right there. I lay Saber on the old beat-up bed. How are you holding up, Saber? Can you still move? Yes, I am fine since Shiro carried me here. It seems I can still maintain my body. Okay, then there's only one issue left. It's been an hour. It might take a little longer, even if Iliasville is going to pursue us. No, we might be able to hide here until morning if they have trouble finding us. Oh. She just reminded me of something. We've run as far as this ruins, but what happened with Berserker and Archer? He stayed in the castle to hold Berserker off. It's already been an hour. Archer should have retreated from the castle by now. Tosaka, Tosaka doesn't respond. She only presses her right hand to her heart, like she's clutching something precious. And that's enough to tell me what happened to Archer. Tosaka's command spell is on her right arm. A master and their servant are connected. In the same way Saber was able to detect when I was in danger, a master can sense whether their servant is alive or dead. Tosaka. Yeah. I told him to just buy us some time. That guy. He was pretentious till the very end. Silence falls between us. It feels like the silence will last forever, but then... But I won't let it be meaningless. Since I've lost Archer, I'm going to defeat Berserker here. The sound of Tosaka punching her hand into her fist breaks the silence. No more mourning. My rule is that I should take action if I have time to worry. We've come this far, so now I'm going to have you make a decision too. What kind of decision? You should know very well. The decision to defeat Iliasville by killing Berserker. We have Saber with us. We can't get out of this forest. Having her recover naturally would take too long. Whichever we try, Ilia catches us. Don't you get it? If the three of us are ever going to leave this forest, we need to defeat Berserker. If we can't do that, we're just going to follow Archer. Defeat Berserker. That monster? Defeat that invincible whirlwind of death? I can't imagine that being possible. If we fight, we die. Tosaka should understand that perfectly herself. Is her plan still to defeat him, even knowing that? No, that's wrong. What am I saying? Tosaka's not saying we can beat it. She's not so blindly optimistic. Yeah. Got it. We're not going to beat him to win. I should have realized that from the very beginning. We have to beat him, don't we? That's all there is to it. If we don't want to die here, we have to defeat that monster. Exactly. Things aren't as dire as you might think, either. Yeah, it's Berserker, but he should be wounded after fighting Archer. I've brought my entire jewel collection, and if Saber can recover, then we can come up with a plan or two. In fact, don't you think this is our best opportunity to defeat Iliasville since Berserker's wounded? But is there a way to heal Saber? This isn't the best place to treat her. No, location isn't the important thing for treating Saber. Saber's only weak because she's out of magical energy. If we can replenish enough of that magical energy, she should be able to use her abilities like before. Tosaka's explanation reminds me of late last night. She said that Saber's magical energy was mostly gone. Which is why, to restore Saber's magical energy, if you want to save Saber, you'll need to tell her to attack people and eat their souls. Then there's only one answer. Use a command spell, Emiya. That should at least let you avoid the worst case here. I have 2 command spells left. I'll use one to make Saber attack people, so she can devour their souls to replenish her magical energy. If Saber won't recover, we can't defeat Berserker. If we can't defeat Berserker, then he'll kill us. I look at Saber where she lies. We're just letting her suffer at this point. But... no, I still can't agree to let Saber attack innocent people. Yes, I actually agree this time. If we were somewhere else, I might have suggested it. But we're in Iliasville's forest. There's not a single human soul around. There might be some people besides Ilya and Berserker in the castle, but going back there is a suicide mission. Saber to eat souls, we have to be out of this place. So that's not going to happen right now. Tosaka nods. I'm relieved not to have to make Saber attack people. But then how are we supposed to replenish Saber's magical energy? So what do we need to do, Tosaka? The whole problem comes from me not being able to provide Saber with magical energy. There are other ways. I thought I explained that to you yesterday. I guess it's the day before yesterday now. Sharing magical energy with a servant can be accomplished by sharing magecraft and a handful of other methods. Back then, well, I didn't say anything because I never thought we'd end up in a situation like this. I'm trying to think back to our conversation that night. Now that she mentions it, she said something like, well, a path should have been created between you and Saber during her summoning, so there might be a different way, but... I think that's what Tosaka said. I remember now. He said something about a path, and that there's some other method besides magecraft. Right? Or did I get it wrong? At the time, I was shocked to learn that I had to make Saber attack people, so I might have misheard her. Tosaka, is there another way? Yeah. There are two options I can help you with, but this isn't exactly an ideal situation for either. Listen, Saber lacks magical energy because the path between you is incomplete. In order for her to recover, we need to reform the path between you to make it work properly. It's probably the best solution, but I don't know how to do it. Saber's summoning was messed up from the start. If I'd been able to make a connection to supply her with magical energy, we wouldn't be in this mess. It's quite simple. We need you and Saber to bond properly and reconnect your spiritual path. That's the only way to fix a path without breaking the contract or re-summoning her. And to do that, we need to transplant your magic circuits to Saber. Transplant my magic circuits to Saber. To establish the path between you and Saber, we need to transplant spiritually important organs. If the servant and master are borrowing the Holy Grail's power, we need to create a connection just as strong, or the path won't be formed. And to accomplish that, we need to transplant the master's magic circuits to the servant. It's going to require something that extreme, or your powers won't reach Saber. Magic circuits. An indispensable mechanism for the mages that uses Ode to activate mana. It's the core of a mage's existence, and without it, the magical energy that serves as the source of a mage's power can't be created. To a mage, their magic circuits are more important than life itself. They see them as the thing that gives their existence value. It's too dangerous to transplant a servant's circuits to a master. Transplanting the circuits of ghost liners, especially heroic spirits, into a dying person pretty much only leads to severe rejection. So, our only remaining option is to transplant your circuits to Saber. But it amounts to ripping nerves out of your body, which means the burden here will be entirely on the one offering the transplant. Ripping out nerves is the same as amputating fingers or even arms. Please wait, Rin. That would be too much for Shiro. And if we don't do it, none of us will survive. You should know that, Saber. I gulp as quietly as I can. I have to get my priorities straight. We don't have time for me to hesitate when what needs to be done is clear. I think Shiro's kind of used to a similar sensation, but this is going to be a lot more intense and violent. Yeah, because he's been creating and discarding circuits, but this is going to be creating and then having them forcibly removed. So it's a little different. It's all a little esoteric too, a little bit, it's a little unclear. Tosaka, can you make this work? I'll make it work, yes. But even if it works, it's not going to be safe or easy. I have no intention of failing, but even if I succeed, your magic circuits will go to Saber. You will experience such an intense sense of loss and pain, you'll wish I failed. If your magic circuits are taken from you, that means you... That would mean that my secondary nerve, my missing magic circuits, would be like a piece torn from my psyche and would damage the spiritual body's integrity, creating a fatal flaw in me as a mage. I will never regain that missing piece for as long as I live. My hope of becoming a full-fledged mage from experience alone will die. Once I lose my foundation, my magic circuits, I will always be incomplete, no matter what. I nod for my own sake. Is that all? I'd rather save Saber. Okay, let's do it, Tosaka. That was fast. Oh, well, I guess it's fine you decided so fast. But do you really understand what you're getting into? I do. You already told me. Of course you don't. Listen, I basically just told you that you're going to have to die as a mage to save Saber. How can you just agree without any questions or objections? I'm sure Rin can fix you. I hope she can fix me. Anyway. Because I don't have any objections. I'm agreeing because it's the best plan we have. You should be more confident in your own plan. Seeing you panic like that is making me worry. And if we don't do this, Saber can't fight Berserker, right? Right. That's what I've been saying. See? And it's not like we haven't made any sacrifices. We have to fight and win, since he bought us time. His stance told me to go. I didn't like him, but he was willing to risk his life to protect his master, Tosaka. I can't back out now. Fine. Let's begin, Shiro. Yeah. Are you ready, Saber? We're going to transplant my magic circuits to you. Yes. If that is your decision, Master. I hear neither affirmation nor denial in her voice. But her eyes seem filled with regret. That is where we're going to call it for tonight. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, and we've got a lot of this chapter left. So, as I predicted at the beginning of stream, we're going to have to cut this one in half, and I think that's probably the best place to do it. Leave you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger, see what happens next time. Like I said, we're probably not going to be able to get back to it until next Monday. I want to squeeze in another episode, another chapter into another stream this week to get that chapter wrapped up, and then we can start next week on the next chapter, but I don't think I'm going to have the time. The schedule for this week is pretty tight. There's not a lot of wiggle room for this week, so we'll have to see. For now, I'm going to send you guys off on a raid, and then go get myself some dinner. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh. How about we send a raid out to a fellow Pyropup? Let's go say hi to Dan. Free next Monday too. Yippee! Yeah, so it'll definitely be next Monday that we do the next section of the chapter then. Thank you guys for joining me. Thanks again, Doc, for the raid if you're still here, and all of your raiders, if any of you guys are still here, for joining as well. Always glad to have new friends. Tomorrow we'll be back with more Build Your Oshi, more Elden Ring. And then Wednesday, Thursday I will be off, and then we'll be back on Friday with a collab stream, and then Saturday with some Monster Hunter Wilds. So, very exciting, action-packed, fun-filled week. Next week we'll probably be doing even more Monster Hunter. I'm not sure exactly what I want the schedule to look like for next week. It'll kind of depend on how much we get done tomorrow in Build Your Oshi, how far we get, because I do want to, because we have that build more or less finished, except for like some of the armor pieces, it'll be beelining it to the end of the game, which means chewing through all the DLC bosses, basically. So, we'll see. Until then, be nice, have fun, raid Leaf, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.